students. Once again, you're welcome to this session. The first session, the first segment of the first session of Mastering Chemistry, Part 1. Of Mastering Chemistry, Part 1. First, it's a paradox statement there. Now, we are going to look at the topics that we are going to discuss at the course of this study. We are going to look at the topics. These are the topics that are incorporated in Mastering Chemistry Part 1. So these are the expected topics that you need to know in Mastering Chemistry. We are going to discuss about Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1, we are going to have it in series. And these are the topics that are involved. First, we talk about Introduction to Chemical Science. Introduction to Chemical Science is the same thing as Introduction to Chemistry. You know, we talk about chemical. Chemical can be referred as a root word of chemistry. Two, we are going to discuss about physical and chemical changes that occur in chemicals. You know, we have two types of changes that occur in chemicals, either physical changes or chemical changes. Take note of them. I'm going to discuss it in details. We're going to talk about techniques for mixture separation. There are techniques that you use for separating of mixture. Every mixture has its own separation techniques. Every mixture has its own separation techniques. We are going to highlight them in seamless explanation that you understand. Just your goal is to remain focused. 3, 4, we're going to talk about symbols, formulae, and equation. Now, most students find it difficult on how to balance chemical equations. Now, we're going to make it very simple to you. Just pay attention and follow the steps. Now, number 5, talk about stoichiometry and mole concepts. So, chemistry is all about the mathematical aspect of chemistry. Calculating the mathematical aspect of chemistry. Now, when you know the mass of an element or an atom, now knowing the stoichiometry, the mole concept, the molar mass, and so on and so forth. So the mathematical aspect of it, that's what we mean by the stoichiometry and the mole concept. 3.6, we're going to talk about atomic structure, the structure of an atom. The structure of an atom. The structure of an atom has a lot to do with its characteristics. So we're going to talk about its atomic structure. Now, it's one of the things that you can use to identify an atom by its structure, a compound or molecules. Now, we are going to also talk about the chemical bonding. Under bonding, the formation of molecules or compounds. Atoms don't just bond together. There is a rules of engagement for atoms to bond together. So we're going to discuss it in details. Why atoms undergo chemical reactions? Why do they undergo chemical reactions? So we're going to discuss it. Okay. Now, we are also going to discuss the kinetic theory and the gaseous state. The kinetic theory and the gaseous state. We are going to also discuss the acid, base, and salt. Acid, base, and salt. We're also going to discuss water sources and properties. These are things I want you to pay attention. Water as a molecules. So we will start from the structure of water, the composition of water, the properties of water, the source of water, and so on and so forth. Compound, the almighty compound. Carbon, and its compounds. So we're going to look at the carbon and its compound in inorganic chemistry. No, we talk about organic chemistry, it's a chemistry of carbon. But in inorganic chemistry, we're going to look at its compounds and so on and so forth. Also, we're going to talk about chemical industries. These are the topics we're going to talk about on Mastering Chemistry Part 1. So today, I'm going to give you a hint before I call it a day. We're going to start with Introduction to Chemical Science. Introduction to Chemical Science. Introduction to chemical So these are things we're going to talk about. First, we need to understand what is science. So remember, I said earlier, we are bringing it to the lowest term. We are bringing chemistry to the lowest term. We are starting from scratch. We are starting from scratch. So you are going to pay attention and be focused. What is science? You know, when you get to SS1, they ask you to do, they will introduce some science subject like there's junior secondary is all about the basic science of science, the basic fundamental. But actually, when you come to SS1, that is when all these subjects will be introduced to you. Now, let's continue from here. What is science? Now, we said that generally, science is defined as a systematic process of, take the note of this keyword, of making inquiry about matter. Systematic process of making inquiry about matter. That is, I'm talking about matter, talk about living and non-living things around our environment. Now, these living things, in other definition, we can talk about, we can refer this matter as natural things around us. Natural things around us. You know what is matter? Yes. You need to start. Since science is talking about matter, the center of science is talking about matter. Matter is just science. So science is just talking about matter. Now, in junior secondary, we define matter as anything that has weight and occupies space. Anything that has weight and occupies space. But secondary, that definition is not acceptable. Now, matter is defined. Matter is defined as anything that has mass and occupies space. Full stop. Now take note of the keyword of matter. Anything that has mass and occupies space. So we are going to also look at the difference between mass and weight. They are not the same. Mass and weight are not the same. One is a vector quantity, while the other one is a scalar quantity. So we're going to look at it at the course of the study. But that's not where we're dwelling now. I'm going to explain the difference between mass and weight and how to work on them. So having said this, let's talk about branches of science. There are three main branches of science. Three main ones. That is physics, chemistry, and biology. So these are the three main branches of science. Now, other subjects are incorporated in these three. Other subjects I can talk about in science, they are extracted from these three main branches of science. Are we together? Now, because of the course of our studying, we are not going to dwell much in physics and biology, but I'm going to give you a brief definition of the aspect of matter that physics deal with, and the aspect of matter that biology deal with, and we proceed with the aspect of matter chemistry deal with. Remember, these three subjects, all of them are talking about matter, which science, as a holistical concept, is dealing with. So, now having said this, now, what is physics? Now, there is no concise definition about physics, but generally, physics is generally considered as a science, as a branch of science that deals with behavior of matter in relation to its energy content. That is the aspect of matter that physics deals with. Now, let me repeat again. Physics deals it's a branch of science that deals with the behavior of matter in relation to its energy content. That means physics is talking about the behavior of matter in relation to its energy content. That's behavior and energy. Behavior of matter and its energy. That's what physics is centered about. Now, biology is a branch of science that deals or involves the study of living things. It is a fascinating study that ranges from microscopic cellular molecules. Do you understand me? It's a fascinating study that ranges from microscopic cellular molecules to biosphere, a surface of living things. It's quite a fascinating study. Very interesting study. Now, that is what biology is talking about. Living things. Now, we are going to discuss the main topic, our series. Now, what is chemistry? Sorry? What is chemistry? So, I'm going to stop here today. In our next class, I'm going to start with what is chemistry. I'm going to break it down to a point that even if you are sleeping, somebody touch you, what is chemistry? You can easily say it without struggling. It's not something that you need to cram. It's something that you need to make it part and parcel of you. Chemistry is a wonderful subject that when you understand it, you'll be proud of it. Thank you for watching. Please help us to subscribe and share.